All right, let's jump right in. Today we're talking about a huge, massive shift that's happening in higher education. It's kind of like a quiet revolution, and it's being driven by things we all hear about: soaring costs, crippling student debt, and this new, intense focus on getting skills that actually land you a job fast. And it's making us question one of the most basic ideas we've had about success for generations.
And it really all boils down to this one big question that, millions of students and their families are asking themselves right now. With the price tag for that traditional college diploma just climbing higher and higher, people are hitting pause and seriously reevaluating if it's still the golden ticket to a great career.
And wow, these numbers right here, this is exactly why people are asking that question. The difference in cost is just staggering. I mean, think about it. You could go to a community college for over 10 years for what it costs for just 1 year at a private school. That financial reality is what's really powering this entire shift.
So yeah, a cost gap that big forces a pretty major decision, doesn't it? It pushes people to a real crossroads, and it's fueling this powerful movement away from the old traditional model, a movement that's picking up steam every single day.
And this movement, it's got a name. People are calling it uncollege. Now, this isn't about being against education, not at all. It's more about being pro-efficiency. It's this pivot toward other options. Think 2-year degrees, shorter certificate programs that are way more flexible, way more affordable, and are literally designed to get you into a good-paying job without waiting around for years.
And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. The data completely backs it up. You can see right here that while the traditional 4-year colleges are actually seeing their enrollment numbers drop, the real growth, the excitement, is happening with associate degrees and certificates. Students are basically voting with their feet, and they're walking right toward these more direct paths.
And here's the why behind those numbers. Here's the human cost. Over 3/4, 77%, of people with student loans feel absolutely crushed by that debt. It's this massive financial weight that impacts every decision they make in life, and you better believe the next generation is watching and actively looking for any way to avoid that same trap.
And at the very same time, the alternative path is getting more and more attractive financially. It used to be that a 4-year degree was seen as the only ticket to a high salary. Well, that's just not the world we live in anymore. Skilled trade jobs in fields that are in high demand are offering 6-figure salaries. That completely changes the whole financial equation for a new generation.
Okay, so you've got these big economic and social trends moving. Well, now there's a major piece of legislation that's about to pour gasoline on the fire. It's informally known as the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, or OBBBA, and it is set to speed up this uncollege shift in a huge way, starting in 2026.
So what's actually in this law? Let's break down the big pieces. There are 4 really key changes. First, it expands Pell Grants so they can cover short-term workforce programs, which is huge. Second, it puts new caps on how much grad students and their parents can borrow. It's also going to phase out certain federal loans for anyone new, and it creates a new, much more manageable income-based repayment plan. We're going to dig into a couple of the most important changes right now.
Okay, let's zoom in on that first one, because honestly, it is a total game changer. For the very first time, federal Pell Grants, which are specifically designed for students with lower incomes, can be used for these super short job training programs. This makes that uncollege path a real, actual option for students who, before this, just had no way to pay for it.
And it's not just us saying this. The experts who live and breathe this stuff agree. Darian Pollard, over at the American Association of Community Colleges, points out that this law makes the whole promise of their schools, accessible, affordable programs that get you a job without a mountain of debt, even more powerful and compelling for students.
Now, the other part of this law is about deliberately reining in debt. The new rules put these firm caps on how much students and their parents can borrow using federal programs. And the effect of that is it's going to financially steer families away from those super high-cost schools that require tons of borrowing, which in turn makes the lower-cost options look even better.
So you put all this together, the trends, the student debt crisis, this new law, and the entire landscape of education just gets completely redrawn. So let's actually put the two paths side by side and see just how different they really are now.
And when you lay it out like this, the difference is just night and day, isn't it? On one side, you've got the traditional path, 4 or more years, costs that can easily blow past 6 figures, and a really high chance of ending up with debt. And on the other, the uncollege path. You're in the workforce in under 2 years for a fraction of the cost, with little to no debt, and a laser focus on getting specific, employable skills.
Okay, but does that skills-first approach
actually work? Does it lead to a job? Well, this number pretty much answers that question. A stunning 85% of students who finish these short-term programs get a job in their field within 6 months. That is an absolutely incredible return on your investment of time and money.
So, when you boil it all down, the advantages are pretty clear. It's way more affordable in both time and money. It's directly tied to what employers are actually looking for. It's flexible, which means you can stack credentials over your career. And crucially, it just opens up the doors of opportunity to a much more diverse group of students.
And we're not talking about low-wage jobs here, not by a long shot. Get this, a 2-year associate's degree in registered nursing can lead to a median salary of over $81,000 a year. That is more than a lot of people make after spending 4 years and taking on tons of debt to get a bachelor's degree in some other field.
So all of this is completely reshaping the future of education and work as we know it. The big question is, what does this new world of learning mean for you, as you think about your own path forward?
Well, the consensus among experts is that 2026 is going to be a major tipping point. This uncollege trend is expected to pick up even more speed. While traditional 4-year colleges, they could be facing a serious crisis. Some people are predicting their enrollment could drop by as much as 15%. The pressure is really on for them to adapt, or they risk getting left behind.
And that really leaves us with one final big question for you to think about. As all these old lines between different kinds of education start to blur and fade away, the very definition of what a valuable education even is, well, it's kind of up for grabs. Is it about the rich campus experience and the broad learning of a 4-year university, or is it about gaining a very specific skill set and taking the fastest route to a stable career with no debt? You know, there's no single right answer anymore. In this new landscape, you are the one who gets to decide what a valuable education truly means for you.